Baruch here with genConnect.com, and we're talking today with James Bennett, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. How are you, James?
I'm great, thank you.
Thanks for being here. Right? Could be worse, could be worse.
Very happy to be here.
The Atlantic is now over 150 years old, which is a really unbelievable number when you think about it. How has the brand evolved over the last several decades?
Actually, I think we've been true to our origins all the way along. The way we do what we do has evolved substantially.
How's that?
Well, The Atlantic was founded to be a magazine to kind of drive big ideas, provocative questions into the national conversation, try to shape the national conversation. It was actually founded partly to seek the abolition of slavery when it was a very radical idea in 1857. And we've continued to view ourselves down through the decades as playing that role, surfacing big ideas, trying to provoke conversation and debate around consequential questions. The great thing about the time we're living in is that there are so many new means for doing that.
Right.
There's the print magazine, of course, which is doing very well, and then our 3 websites, our various apps, our video undertakings, and then festivals like the Aspen Ideas Festival. So I think the brand hasn't evolved in the sense that it remains what it's always been, but the way we express that brand and our ability to reach people and engage them is just vastly greater now than it's ever been.
You mentioned digital, and The Atlantic really has been at the forefront when we look at the landscape of print magazines translating their vision into digital successfully. What was the strategy behind that transition?
Thanks, Baruch. That's kind of you to say, and we have experimented pretty wildly, again, because fortunately for our origins kind of gave us permission to do that. The strategy was to, again, focus on what it is we do rather than the way we do it. The way we have done it historically has been to write big, long stories and publish them in print. That remains a highly effective way to do what we do. Blog posts are also highly effective ways to push ideas out. Video is a great way to do it. And so we began experimenting with all these different ways to do our original mission, and our website has just grown dramatically. We do, on the main flagship site, theatlantic.com, we do well over 12 million unique visitors a month now.
Wow.
And we have 2 other sites. In total, we do about 20 million, which, we reach many more people than we ever have, which is great.
And now that you have so many people engaging with The Atlantic, of course you've said that The Atlantic has remained true to its ethos from day one, but do you find that your visitors, your viewers, your readers are looking for something different than they were before?
They can come to us for all sorts of reasons. They can now expect things from us we didn't do before. Like if we have, I think, a brilliant photo blog run by Alan Taylor on our website. We call it In Focus. Now, The Atlantic traditionally is not the first place people would think of for highly imaginative, surprising photography. We do that now in a way we've never been able to do it before. Similarly with video, we're dramatically expanding our video offerings. So they can find different kinds of content, and people attach to us for different reasons. Our web site is organized into channels, and some people come to us for our technology coverage, some come for our business coverage, some for culture, and I hope some for all of it, But that's what kind of makes it fun. We can engage with readers kind of on the questions that are most relevant to them, and we hear from them, And obviously the social network has just been a wonderful development for us because it puts us into direct conversation with our readers all the time, and they let us know what they don't like as well as what they do like.
And you take that into consideration.
Oh yeah, we certainly do.
Now this is a question that's been asked over and over again, but I'd love your take on it. What is the future of print?
A lot of my work has at The Atlantic has been to try to get us into a position where we don't care about the answer to that question. Not that it's not important. I love print. I don't know what the truth is. I have an unsatisfying answer to that question, which is I don't know what it is. Print will exist as long as people want print. I think that will be a very long time. It remains a very useful, efficient way to deliver information and enjoy information, but there are lots of other ways to do it now. I think the important thing is to get the magazine into a position where people can consume it the way they want, where they want, when they want, and if that's in print, we'll be there. If that's on the iPad or Android phones, we're going to be there.
So you really are in a unique position because of your robust digital business.
Yeah, it's a huge part of who we are. But again, the magazine content, our magazine stories do extremely well online. So you can publish a 10 or 12,000 word story, and if it's got a great argument, if it's well put together, if it's beautifully designed, particularly in the social network, people want to share it with their friends. They want to tell them about it, they push it out, and we find we get a tremendous audience there. Now, so is that a print story? Is that a digital story? The answer is it's both, as it should be.
As you've risen to the top of your world, what has been the #1 piece of advice that you've received along the way?
That's an excellent question, and one great piece of advice I got very early on was from my predecessor, Cullen Murphy, who's an absolutely brilliant editor, was the cover story is incredibly important. It sounds so banal to say it, but it turns out to be true in the digital environment as well as the print environment.
Sure.
It's the statement of the brand, and the ability of the Atlantic cover to make an impact and drive conversation is actually, I think, like no other magazine. I talk with our guys about the monthly magazine is like this great big boulder we get to throw into the pond 10 times a year, and when we get it right, just ripples kind of spread everywhere. So we put a lot of effort into trying to produce cover stories that are highly surprising and provocative and really help our readers think in new ways.
So do judge a magazine by its cover.
I think that's a totally fair way to judge us.
James Bennett, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruce.
And for more with James Bennett and The Atlantic, be sure to check out genConnect.com.